Those of you that follow me on Instagram have been waiting for this reveal for a little bit, and we'll just go ahead and get started. The very first thing that I would like to show you is the inspiration that I had for this. I've kind of picked from a lot of pictures that I saw on Pinterest, some ideas that I had in my head about what the final look, and I will have to tell you that the process changed a little bit. You'll notice where I have a mirror in there, it was actually going to be a handmade sign. I changed this at the last minute. And that's okay. We have to kind of go with the flow and what we think at the time works. So this right here was the inspiration. You'll notice as the video progresses that I actually used elements from every one of the pictures in some way, shape, form, or matter. Let me show you now, and you will see a video and some still shots of what the laundry room looked like before. First of all, this is our laundry room. And don't mind all the dirty clothes and the hung up clothes. It's also become my paint storage, so that's going to change. But I have very tall, of course, everything's a process, so then we had to empty it. I really don't know what classifies as a DIY newbie. About 20 years ago, I did some renovations in our house, basically cosmetic. Actually, I do have all of my fingers. I used what's called aluminum flashing as a backsplash. And I used sand paint, and that was something that was in a red wall. That was something that was very out of the norm. And I'm pretty sure that my husband, if he had known that I was going to take on that venture, would have said no, but he did not. He left for a week, and I did it with the 3 kids, and it was great. Anyway, we're going to go on to the next here. So something I'm not accustomed to doing is putting everything down on paper. I just kind of fly with it, but this was my sketch. I have a lot of videos explaining the process and what I was going to take, but that was straight for the IG stories. So I'll skip that so you're not bored. I will let you know that I did use scrap wood for all the batten board, and that was kind of nice. Nothing is out of pocket there. As for the rest of the process, let me show you. Brought in all the wood after I cut it, and then we were ready for adding it to the wall. That is the batten board. As you can see from the prior picture, there are 3 smaller 1x2s. I used 2 of them together because remember we used scrap wood with this. So I used 2 of them together, and then I just used a wood filler across the middle. Okay, so next I did the paint selection. I already knew that I wanted to use grays, a black, and then a very bright white. So that's what I did, and these are the colors I chose. The exciting thing about this room wasn't the batten board, wasn't the painting, wasn't that I came up with the idea, any of the decorations or anything like that. It's this one particular wall. But before I get to that, I would like to show you what the one wall looked like when I was done. I was almost done with the entire laundry room by this time, and I just had that one wall. I was getting ready to get into a venture that, adventure, I guess is what I should say. I had never done a wall like this or this technique or worked with this product, and the product was joint compound. I did work with joint compound. I love working with joint compound now, and I've only done just that little bitty wall that's there. So let me show you the process of masking tape. That I did this. I did this. You'll see in there in the last photo that there's stuff that doesn't look like bricks. Well, those are an effect that I wanted. I wanted it to look like the wallboard had fallen off. I think it turned out pretty good actually, but that's just the masking tape part. Now I will let you know that I made a rookie mistake and something that I was being hasty, and it's okay. It turned out okay, but I did not sand my wall. I got so excited about my 1/2 inch masking tape that I just decided to go ahead and start taping it up. And I forgot to sand my wall down and put a gripper on it so that the joint compound can stay. But this is what I did. I went ahead and did it afterwards. Okay, now we're at the super exciting part. This is when I get to play with the joint compound. And this was very exciting for me because I had never worked with it before, and it turned out really well. I had read up on, I cannot tell you how many videos, YouTube videos, Pinterest videos, blogs, just trying to get my own thing. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this in my kitchen first. But this wall seemed to be like the perfect place to start. So I started there, and this is what it looked like in the process. That was applying the joint compound. This was taking off the masking tape. Once all the masking tape was pulled off, had to wait 24 hours to cure because there's nothing else that I could do with the wall until it was completely done. And I needed to put a second coat on some of the bricks to kind of raise them out of the wall, and then I needed to put a second coat on the wall board and have it actually come over the brick. So this is me doing the wall board. By this time, I'm getting super excited about this part of the process, and I'm actually getting super excited about telling you because this is the fun part. But this is what the wall looked like when it was completely done and ready for the paint. So I waited for a couple of days to cure, and after the curing, I started to paint it. I actually did something a little bit differently, I guess, than anybody else would have done, but I decided to start with the dark gray first. That was, if you remember, the paint samples that I had earlier in the video here. I did a couple of the bricks the gray color, and then the lighter gray color just underneath that, I washed it, and then the second or the third gray color, I washed that, and then I did a whitewash over the entire wall. I did not, I was not selective. I just did it, and it just worked. This is what the wall looked like when I was done doing the whitewash before the grout. Yes, I used grout. I also used a wall texture on the wallboard. Now, I will tell you that being that this was a practice wall, I made a few mistakes. One was using an old can of wall texture. I should really use a new can of wall texture next time, and a different spray. So I won't show you a close-up of that. But after I used the wall texture, I let that dry, and then I decided on the color of grout that I wanted to use. I was contemplating leaving everything white, but I felt that the character part, it just looked like it wasn't complete. So I had purchased a DeLorean gray grout, and I thought that was perfect too, but it wasn't. It was way, way, way too dark. So the way we handled that is I mixed up some white paint with that, and it made it a little bit easier to work with. I did not know how I was going to apply the grout actually at this point, because you cannot apply it on a brick like you would a tile. So this was going to be, I would have to get inventive. So I tried to put it on with my fingers, and that did not work. This, however, is a Cajun injector for turkeys. Yes, this is how I applied the grout. It's no way done, but as you can see coming from here, this looks like brickwork, does it not? And once I go through and scrape off, I think it'll look really good. I have to go over through these little things here and do some whitewash on it, but what do you think? This is what the final wall looked like. Almost there. Thank you so much for following along. Thank you for your comments. This has been an interesting little adventure, enough so that now I'm going to do the rest of my house, and I would be honored and humbled actually if you continue to follow me and watch my little adventures to see what happens with them. So I actually have an entire house to do. But thank you very much for following along with me. I appreciate it. I'll be back after I show you the final reveal. Here we go. Ready? Here we go. Okay, so that's a wrap. There is my new laundry room, and I'll do some still shots here in the next couple of slides. Thank you very much for following along with me. I really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I wasn't too boring for you. And I hope that you follow me on my next adventure, which I don't know what that is yet. So stay tuned, please. And again, thank you. You know, as a DIY newbie, actually I've been doing home renovation type DIY for quite a few years, but they've only been for myself, not anything that I've ever shared outside the house unless you came to visit me. then I shared it with you. It's something that I actually love doing. I am learning at all times. There are a lot of things that I want to learn how to do. And this was just the year to do it. So we will, which is a bright white. I ended up using a snowflake white, and I can't remember. Oh my gosh! I want to show you the finished the finished side of the wall. Is that a blooper? That was taken or applying white paint with that, and it came to the perfect mixture. It made it a little bit more consistent. Is that the word that I want to use?